located right on Beale. They didn't carry blues, they carried pop, polka, rock, rhythm and blues. This is where Dewey Phillips would even come to buy a lot of his records to play on the radio show, WHBQ. They would come right here to the home of the blues. And as you know, Johnny Cash, guess what? He wrote a song called Home of the Blues, and guess why he did it? Because of that record shop right there. So as we go around and we cruise around, you know, this is what that street looked like right over there in 1955. So we always had these little videos for you to kind of look at and kind of get a picture. Of course, that's Reuben Cherry, Johnny Cash selling his record right over there in 1957. Down the street that losers you. If you can wait traveling on the road, what Willie Mitchell would do, he says, look, if you got talent, if you're hungry, here's where you go. He says, if I can't pay you the money, I'll give you a bowl of chili. He always gave the musicians there a bowl of chili. That's how he would pay a lot of these musicians that would come through. Little Richard would play there a lot. And the story goes that even Elvis hung out there back in the 50s. I don't know how true that is, because, you know, this was a black street. And a lot of the white folks didn't come down on Beale Street, but that is one of the stories that Elvis would hang out.
Millionaire in the country. So it's interesting because think about 1899, segregation is huge. Slavery was over for only 30 years, but he became a really prominent businessman here in Memphis. So this park, he decided to donate to the city because you had segregated parks. He thought parks should be for everyone, right? White and black, yellow, green, whatever. And the thing about the park is that it was beautifully landscaped. They had rock pathways, rose gardens, flowers, abundant flowers. They also had peacocks roaming the grounds, which is kind of cool. And but the coolest thing about this park is that this is what's considered the original home of the blues. A lot of people think, oh yeah, Beale Street, home of the blues. It was this park because people from all over the Delta would hitch rides, come up with their guitar.
Robert Johnson.
Yeah, Robert Johnson, one of them. Mm-hmm. They'd come up and they'd play for tips. And eventually, this caught on with some club owners on Beale Street, saloon owners, I guess is what they called them back then. And they would hire these guys to play. So it was maybe more or less have an audition. If you get to this park and you're good, someone will hire you. So this is really where the blues. This is where "That's All Right, Mama" was first played by Elvis Presley. Elvis cuts the record July 5th, 1954. A few days later, Sam Phillips takes it to Dewey, no relation, and says, "Hey man, play this thing. It's going to be a hit. Just let's get this kid to hurt." So Elvis is 19. Dewey Phillips plays this thing about 12 or 13 times in a row. Phone rings off the hook, and they're on. Thinking, man, who is this kid? You know, or is he? Who is he? Is he white? Is he black?
Soldier Boy. Why would we choose that song? Right over here. This is where the draft board actually sat in 1956. So when Elvis was inducted to the Army, he came into the building that sat right here. And it was 6:30 in the morning. He shows up with his parents, and also Anita Wood, his girlfriend at the time, and got inducted into the U.S. Army. As you know, what happened the next day, they cut off his famous hair, and that was it. And Elvis actually used to get his hair cut right back here. If you've seen the Orpheum, when this movie came out, Elvis was going to attend the premiere, but he did not attend the premiere here in Memphis for one reason. His co-star, Judy Tyler, a week before the premiere, was killed in a car accident. So he was so shook up from it, he never did watch the movie Jailhouse Rock, because he couldn't stand to watch that movie knowing that she was in it. And of course they sell that jacket at Alaskan. Breeze from the river would cool it down at night. On top of that's where all the social elite people would hang out, was on top of this roof. It was called the Alaskan Roof Building, or the Alaska Roof Party. W.C. Handy, as you know, the top musician in Memphis, this is where he would play every Thursday night, Friday night for all the white folk in Memphis. But it was cool in 1916, for the very first time, he premiered a song on the top of this building. It was called the St. Louis Blues. That's where he premiered it for the audience, and he knew when they were all dancing to it that he had a hit for it.
And the home was right here on the corner, that little bungalow right there.
This house that you see right here,
that's where that guitar
with the
player
stone,
lived. Yeah.
That's where Scotty Moore lived when he was recording with Elvis. All those things like Hound Dog and Don't Be Cruel.
Right here.
And that's where he was arrested at, was this home right here.
Front door. So, here's the guy Elvis with Scotty Moore on guitar, Bill Black on bass, and Elvis on acoustic and singing. And they know two songs, That's All Right Mama, Blue Moon of Kentucky, and they know a little bit of I Love You Because, one they've been working on. But they made that was it. And they have concert series today every spring through like early fall maybe.
Yeah.
And they're free. Roseanne Cash played here recently. Aaron Neville played last year. Big names, you know.
Everybody from the next year when Elvis only played here twice. 1954. The next year, guess what? He was an opening act. He was the closing act.
The headliner, yeah.
The closing, along with another hillbilly singer by the name of Webb Pierce. But guess who opened up for him that year in 1955? Johnny Cash was the opening act.
Isn't that amazing?
Because Johnny Cash in 1955 was a new artist to Sun. So now, just like Elvis was an opening act to Slim Whitman from Sun, now here's Johnny Cash. He's now an opening act to Elvis. And then the next year, Carl Perkins, Roy Orbison, and Jerry Lee Lewis, they've all played on this stage. Even B.B. King in the 70s. I mean, all the big acts. Even Elvis played at the Chiska. A lot of people don't know that, but in 1956, he played in the basement of the Chiska Hotel for a benefit that George Klein was putting on, or one of the DJs here in Memphis. Yeah, right. Well,